But yeah, I've got no muscle. Nope, not anymore. The only time I had decent muscle back when I worked for the printing press company because I was always picking up and lifting heavy objects all day, every day. And then when I was working out a lot, when I was, half my age, I had some good muscle on me. And when I was in the army, I had some good muscle on me. But it's been years since I've had any muscle. And it's only been like the last few weeks that I've even been doing push-ups every day again. We'll see how long that keeps up. And if I start incorporating something else into it. Because just doing some push-ups every day, it's not enough. If I'm gonna at least do some basic workouts, then I need to add a little bit more to it, Like, I should probably do some core exercises. Core exercises are kind of neat because you can mix them up easily. It doesn't have to be like crunches / sit-ups all the time. You can do different kinds of planks and butterflies and all sorts of other stuff. So it doesn't feel the same. I could easily start doing some squats again. Those are easy to do just at home. If I get myself a pull-up bar, I could do some pull-ups. And even with just that would be enough of a basic workout to at least put myself into decent shape again. But am I going to do all of that? Probably not. Going for a jog in the morning would be great. That's not going to happen. But they're all things I could do. But yeah, thanks for the luck, Batty Mass. The runs have been struggling this morning. We are getting closer to 3 hours in, and I haven't made it 30 minutes into a run. I've gotten right up to the 30-minute mark. Twice. But then just died. One of them did die because of my fault. And honestly, the pace for that run was acceptable too. Lightning. Nice. First try. Come on. Fifth try. This is an acceptable start. My current goal time in this category is to get a 320 XX. As long as I get that, I'll be happy and move on. I know it's not that much time, but that's my goal, is a 320 XX. I believe that I have approximately a minute and a half of time save total. I don't expect to get all of that time save in one run, because it's just not gonna happen. There's too many variables you have to deal with, that I'll be happy if I get my goal time here. Then I'll call that as good as it's gonna get. Then I'll go back to any percent. Any percent definitely has more room for time save now that I've done routing for all missions. Because a lot of the missions I changed were ones that are also in any percent. Okay, this is an acceptable start time. It feels good enough at least. And we're lightning, which means I can accept a 3 golem start. I don't want to, but I can. I don't think I've seen a 4 golem start this week. I don't feel like I have anyways. It might be maybe my PB on Tuesday. Might have been 4 golem start. I don't remember if that was Tuesday's or if that was Thursday's run. You ladies want to surprise me with a team attack? No. That's okay. Yeah, I don't remember which day it was either. All these runs are just blending together at this point. But I feel like that was a while ago at the very least. So I no longer change Magnus to attack the leader. Well, we can say that it was probably Tuesday that I got the 4 golem start then. I haven't seen one today, and I'm pretty sure I didn't see one yesterday. Since yesterday I got the PB pretty quickly. Then I had only, and it was a 3 golem start. And I'm pretty sure that every single run after that was a 3 golem start or less also. Most were less. a nice quick start. This is the quickest start of the day. I mean, it's gold, so obviously it's the quickest start of the day. It's not technically gold if we consider any percent. I have had a faster one in any percent. And there is room for a faster one if I get a double first try duplication and I don't mess anything up like I did earlier today. Alright, Duncan. You're up to get the first golem, mister. Can we please get a 3 or 4 golem start? I would like a 4 golem. Beastmaster? Beastmaster failed me. Sorceress. Alright, Dio, you're up next. Thank you. Alright, can we get the third one? I'm not gonna try for a fourth. Sorceress, please. Thank you. Alright, we have 3 golems. We have a run. I wonder, do I have to set up the golems here? I do. If I don't set it up here, then when I go into, yeah, then I'd have to reorder parties, and that would take more time. So I should just do it here. Alright, that was good. I haven't shot this cleric into a bad spot in a long time. So hopefully that doesn't happen. We would like to see at least one double up. Perfect. What am I doing? Mashing the wrong button. Wasting all that time save I just got. Dum-dum. AD pad Danny, welcome on in. That's what I get for taking my hand away, then bringing it back and mashing the wrong button. Thanks for the luck. We are past the first reset point. This is the third run of the day to make it past the golems. I am yet to have a run make it past the 30-minute mark, though. Alright, ladies, can you save me from my time loss by teaming up some more? Thank you. They are trying to save me from myself. Maybe me pressing the A button there will delay me enough to switch up my battle RNG and I just run into a wild Hawkman or something early and magically save like a minute that I didn't expect to have. I don't know if it's possible to even fight a random Hawkman this early on into the run. Like, I don't know if it's actually a possibility. Like, yes, you can fight wild Hawkman on that map, but in all of my runs I've ever done, I've never actually fought in a wild Hawkman there. And this is counting my runs before. And I did like, I've done over 100 attempts of any percent. Yeah, a lot of those are now with this routing. The last routing we didn't reset early on. Honestly, the old route didn't reset like at all. I didn't have to recruit wild golems. So we didn't have a huge reset point. The big reset point was just the Hawkman. And that was like an hour into the run. Now we get a Hawkman 30 minutes into the run. Alright, they usually do one team attack here. That's pretty normal. So I'm not going to consider 1 time save, but I'll consider 0 a time loss. But this is an acceptable start time. You know, double gold is acceptable. It could technically have been better. I could have duped my sorceresses quicker. I could have not accidentally pressed A in combat. Speedrunners always think runs can be better. ARJD, welcome on in. Thanks for the luck. After the next mission, we're going to be at the second largest reset point of the run. We made it past the first hurdle. The difficulty today has been getting past this second hurdle. Hiya! Miss. I'm a little tired, but that's my fault. I was up 2 hours past my bedtime last night. And that's also why I failed to wake up early today. I decided that instead of... I really don't want to spend money on the Final Fantasy Magic cards. So I decided last night I would install Magic the Gathering Arena. And I figure if I try and put a little bit of time into that game every week, hopefully I can save up enough in-game currency that when the Final Fantasy cards come out, I can have a decent amount of currency in the game and I can just get a bunch of the cards I want on MTG Arena. And hopefully get my fix of the cards on there and not spend a bunch of money. I mean, half of the time I was on Arena, I wasn't actually playing, but yes, I was logged into Arena last night for a while. Even though half the time I was doing other things. I think I was logged into Arena last night for probably about 5 hours, but I probably only played about 2 of those hours. And a majority of that time was just making decks. I had to delete all my decks that I had on there because like half the cards were banned or something. You know, formats have changed since I played last, so I couldn't use a lot of my cards. In one of my 60 card decks, I think like 40 cards couldn't be used anymore. Something like that. It was probably just all of the non-land cards were not allowed to be used because it was probably for standard or something. I don't know. But yeah, I plan on playing a little bit of MTG Arena just every week just to try to earn enough currency in the game. I'm not going to spend any currency at all. I'm going to save it all up for when the Final Fantasy Magic cards come out. Sadly, I spent like all of my currency before I quit playing the last time I played. So I don't really have any starting currency, which sucks, but it's okay. I have like 3.5, 4 months to earn currency in the game. Not exchange characters, Dumbo. Alright, that wasn't as fast as it could have been. I flubbed the menu a little bit, but it's okay. Team attacks, please. No team attacks. We do gain XP. That probably doesn't matter because we don't have the double XP yet. Alright, that was a lot better movement. Too bad my menuing sucked. Oh, and we're lightning. If we don't have, like, non-stop team attacks, this fight's gonna be real slow. Lightning is the worst element to have here in this fight. Cool. That helps. Okay. I'll lose a bit of time, but not too much. This is an acceptable amount of time loss. Because I do have time save on this mission. But before we get that time save, it's Hawkman time again. Hopefully the Hawkman will actually join me. I've had a lot of failed Hawkman recruits today. Let's go, Hawkman. We know that we'll run into him guaranteed. That's not the problem. The problem is, does he join us? Now, these percentages aren't exact, but I believe if I attack him once, if I hit him once, then invite him to the team, we have a 60% chance he joins us, a 20% chance he says no, and a 20% chance he runs away. Nice. Alright, I do have time to save here. Oh no, I just realized we're lightning. Okay, we can do this. We just need the ladies to team up on this boss fight and not get resisted. If he resists one of our attacks, we are in trouble. And let's not make the mistake I did in my first run of the day here. Make sure I send them far enough south that they don't try and walk all the way around the mountain range. I don't know why she would rather walk all the way over there than all the way around instead of just walking south, but you know, that's just how the game is. Okay, ladies, please team up. I need you to team up. Lightning is the second best element on him, but it's not great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We should beat him as long as he doesn't resist. Perfect. Alright. A night box, welcome on in. I spent a lot of time yesterday, many hours, deleting 500 hours of videos. So not as much as some people, but I did have 500 hours of videos to delete so that I had room. Which was annoying. It's really annoying because they're like, you have until April. But that's kind of a lie. You have until April till we delete your videos. But effective immediately, you're not allowed to highlight anything if you have over 100 hours, which really sucks. Cause yeah, some people are like, well, I have thousands of hours of content to look through. I mean, I use the highlight feature all the time. Anytime I make a PB, I highlight it. And that way, I at least have it, even if I don't, like, upload my PB to YouTube. Like, if I'm, you know, running a game and I'm getting a PB every other day, I'm not gonna be, Let me do this. Oops, wrong way. Do this first. I need to remember to do that first. Okay. That could have been done slightly better, but it's fine. Yeah, the longer somebody's been doing speedruns, the more it affects them. I've technically been a speedrunner for what, like 6 or 7 years? But, like, 2 of those years I didn't really do much. And a lot of the time I'm playing, you know, FF1, and I'll go months without getting a PB, so I don't highlight anything. Also, welcome on in, and Chaos, Cirque Goober, and Keelador. Yeah, some people have had thousands of hours that they have to go through. I only had like 543 hours, I think, of highlights, somewhere around there. And then I deleted about 500 of those hours. I was just kind of annoyed that I couldn't make any highlights. So I was like, I'm just deleting everything if it doesn't say world record. Yeah, I also just deleted a PB from like 2 days ago. But, I mean, with this run, I know I have some doable potential time save. So I know I'm going to get another run in here, and I'll highlight this instead. But yeah, I pretty much only saved my world record runs. And I'm pretty sure I deleted everything else. And I only have 9 world records, so it's not that many videos. Oh yes, lots of speedrunners are going to be reviving their YouTube channels. Now, I already use my YouTube, so it doesn't change a lot for me, but it changes a lot of things for many speedrunners. But yeah, Twitch pretty much gave a big middle finger to all speedrunners. They're like, we care about you partners, unless you're a speedrunner. If you're a speedrunner, we don't really care. Ladies, please team up. I need team attacks to save time. Thank you. I would have rather gained a level there, but it's fine. There are going to be lots of runs. Oh, so close. That's 20 seconds of time loss? Possibly more than that? That's gonna be up to the different communities in SRC. I'm not going to invalidate anybody's runs. I saw, like I'm a moderator of Ogre Battle, and I've seen everybody's runs. There is only one run on the board that I should reject. But I decided that their time was so bad that I'd allow it. The bottom time on the NA any percent leaderboard used a save state and still submitted their run. But the time was very slow. And I was like, whatever. It's the bottom time on the leaderboard. Whatever. If it was a more popular game and we actually had runners, or if their run was making somebody else lower on the leaderboard, then I might care more about it. But the fact that they are, at the time they were the bottom of the leaderboard and they still are, I figured it doesn't hurt anyone. And also, hey Trog, welcome on in. And Blind Execution, welcome in as well. But yeah, I know that I'm gonna have runs up on leaderboards that are no longer gonna have video proof. Like, I think my Final Fantasy X video is not gonna have proof anymore. Because I'm pretty sure my FF10 video wasn't actually my PB, the one that I submitted, because my PB is like 4.6 seconds faster or something like that. Or maybe it's my FF6 runs. I don't remember. There's a couple runs that were like so close to my PB from the previous submitted times that I just didn't care. Well, if you're feeling an itch to play a new game, this one is doable. Getting an amazing time in it takes a lot of effort, but just beating it's not too hard. It's not my favorite speedrun though. There's lots of tech smashing. FF1 NES though, that can be fun. And in case anyone's wondering, most of my time saved for this run is at the beginning here. I have like one section of time saved later on, but almost all of my time saves at the beginning. Yeah, that's also true. I do have video proof on YouTube of a run that's slightly slower. Alright, let's see if I can hit this mission. This one is a real difficult setup to do. This is a new route. Okay. I think that's acceptable. We'll see. Then Magnus, I send him... I'm gonna send him a teeny bit... Nope, I didn't send him earlier. It's fine. I shouldn't get attacked from behind. If Magnus gets attacked, I have one sorceress in that party. So, he would be in some trouble if he gets into combat. Let's hope. Good. From behind. Perfect. I mean, not perfect, because we're fighting him on our side. But that's okay. It just means it'll probably take us 2 attacks to kill him instead of... No, it'll take us 3 attacks to kill him instead of the 2? No, if we get double team-ups, we're fine. Okay. Not a perfect fight, but acceptable. But yeah, I think there's going to be lots of runs that don't have video proof anymore. Which is gonna really suck for looking back at, like, speedruns, because so many speedruns are gonna be gone from SRC. I think Twitch is just kicking themselves, really. Like, I don't think they realize it yet, but I think they're helping out their competitor YouTube a lot by doing this. Because Twitch has had a niche for more speedrunning content than anywhere else. And they're changing that now. They're making all of the speedrunners go to YouTube instead. It's really dumb that they are giving up their one niche that they had. Yeah, YouTube's fine with getting all of the increase in speedrunning videos. They don't care. So Twitch is just hurting themselves right here. They're probably going to lose more money by forcing people to delete all their highlights than it's gonna save them. That's just my guess. It's like the executives at Twitch just don't play games, they don't stream, like, they don't know what they're talking about, and they just make lots of poor decisions. They just think that looking at specific numbers, they can solve problems. Just some random dude like, oh hey, I could save the company money if we do this. And instead of asking streamers what they think about it before they implement the idea, they're just like, yep, you're doing this now. Even if they retract it, I think a lot of damage has already been done. I don't know who that is, Flack, so I can't say. Alright, don't be lazy this time like I was last time. Send them to the correct spot. There we go. Gotcha. Oh yeah, it probably did come down from Amazon. But the way they did it was very poorly done. Come on, that pathing was awful. Yeah, giving us some warning would have been nice. Possibly asking streamer, like, their partners, their thoughts like, on it. Girls, you're supposed to work together. And, you know, if they would have actually given us... The problem is they didn't really give us the amount of time that they said they give us. They say, oh, hey, you have until, like, mid-April. Like, technically it's true, we have till mid-April till you delete our stuff. But we can't highlight anything unless we delete everything now. And that hurts. You know, they make it seem like nothing will be changing for 2 months, but it was actually everything changes immediately. Like I was saying earlier, it would have been nice if they could have just, like, talked to streamers about it. Like, at least the partners, not necessarily everybody, and gotten some opinions. And, you know, maybe if they wanted to cut back on some of the disk space that they were using up, they could, reduce the amount of times that VODs hang around. They don't have to hang around for a month. You know, cutting like a week or 2 off of how long the VODs can hang out. If they're only there for 14 days, that's acceptable. That gives people plenty of time to highlight stuff and clip things that they want and all of that. And for people that missed a stream to watch a stream. That doesn't need to be 30 days. I think that would have been a much better use of their money. Save them money about these useless VODs that every single streamer has, compared to something that supposedly only 0.5% of their streamers have. Like, it just makes more sense to me, but you know, they didn't ask what I thought about it. They have been losing money for years, but that doesn't mean that what they're doing is gonna save them money. Because there's a good chance that this is going to make a lot of people just switch over to YouTube. You know, this is a giant blow for the speedrunning community. This doesn't hurt their very large casual play streamers, like, very much at all. But the speedrunning community, this kills the speedrunning community. And it incentivizes a lot of big speedrunners to just do everything on YouTube. And I personally think this is gonna hurt Twitch, probably more than it's gonna save them money. It doesn't affect me personally as much as a lot of other people, because I do offline recordings for all my runs, unless I forget. I definitely forget sometimes. But usually I do offline recordings. I don't hold on to like my old PBs for very long. But they're all up on YouTube. But I still liked having the Twitch highlights. They were great. I've relied on them, and I will probably continue to rely on them, but it still hurts. It hurts speedrunners a lot. Especially people that play a lot of different games. Oops, I forgot. I should do this first. Hey, Sarantis, welcome on in. Come on. I have time save here if I can just duplicate my characters fast. Oops, not there. Oh no. This is not right. This is not right. Nope. Give me that back. Well, that was sloppy. That was very sloppy. But yeah, they probably, I mean, they have other ways to reduce disk space. In at least the short term, if they really wanted to save money faster, they could have just said, hey, all of your VODs are going to be deleted slightly faster now. That would save immediate disk space. And not force everyone to delete everything they own. Or, you know, they have on Twitch. While they try to figure out, hey, look, over time we're going to try and reduce the amount of... Oh boy. Like, over time they could try to reduce the disk space by giving us like a warning and doing something like short term, like, hey, you know, VODs are going to only last half as long. That would reduce their disk space immediately, while giving people time to downsize. I don't know, I just think that would have been smarter, instead of jumping the gun like they did. I just have a feeling that it's going to hurt them in the long run. Maybe even the short term, actually. And you know who's going to profit from it no matter what? YouTube. I'm one Hawkman short. If I had one more Hawkman hanging around, I wouldn't have to do this duplication another time. I do have one extra Hawkman that I don't need. Alright. This next mission is going to be the last major reset point in the run. But yeah, I feel bad for people that really relied on the updates. Like, or not the updates, the highlights. Because it didn't affect me that much. It was more of an annoyance for me personally. But it wasn't a huge deal. You know, I fixed it in like, I think 2 to 3 hours. I went through all my videos and was just deleting everything that I didn't feel was that important. Which, you know, wasn't that bad. But like just going off like some people that I watch, like Nescard and Lack Attack, Gyre, like a lot of those guys, they're gonna have like the next 2 months is gonna be them figuring out what they're gonna do with all their videos. And a lot of like there's plenty other streamers. That's just a few off the top of my head that I like was watching the last night. Oh, Twitch is making some immediate new changes, keyboard, where people are only now allowed to have 100 hours of highlights. And if you have more than 100 hours, you are not allowed to highlight anything until you get under that limit. And in April, they'll just start deleting any of your highlights if you're over that limit of 100. They said they gave us till April, but you're not even allowed to highlight anything anymore if you're over 100. So they didn't actually give us 2 months to work on it. If you plan on highlighting anything, then you need to figure it out immediately. So it's a pretty dumb change. Like, yes, I understand they want to save some money. That makes sense. But the way they did this was just very poor. Alright, in this mission, there are 2 item drops I need to get. If I don't get these item drops, I lose a lot of time and or have to reset the run. This first one, if I don't get it, I lose about 50 seconds. So all of my time save if I don't get this drop. The second one, if I don't get the drop, that's the run. Okay, we still have a chance to continue. I don't lose time, yet. I don't care about this item drop. Item drops have a approximately a 79% chance, I believe, to drop. So it is much more likely that they do drop than they don't drop. Here's the final one. Balder Axe. If this doesn't drop, we are doomed. It tends to come at a cost of multiple minute time loss. But we get it. Run continues. Yesterday, the run that I had going, I didn't get the helmet to drop, and that pretty much killed the run. Because I was only working with like a 10-second time save, and eventually that just bled out over the run. Alright, I have to do one last character duplication. Then we're done doing glitches for the rest of the run. We'll be done going into the menu for the rest of the run. All I need to do is change the class of one of my Hawkmen, then quickly do a single duplication. Then change the leader of my Hawkman after I do that duplication. But that's all that I have left to do in the menu. Then from then on, it's just mashing through text and sending my units to the exact coordinates I need them to be. Come on. Okay. That is the last menu I have to do for the rest of the game. We needed to get those item drops to be able to change class. And now we just use our Hawkmen to use their flying movement to just fly over the map. So I tried avoiding this Hawkman with Magnus, but he catches me. The only way I can avoid that Hawkman is if I send Magnus to the north. If I send Magnus to the north, then he's going to be fighting something else. Because he can't skirt around all of those other enemies. He can't do it. Alright, so the goal here is that my Raven outspeeds the Knight running to fight Magnus. And he should pretty easily. We would like to get at least one critical hit here. Our Ravens are on their own now without the help of the sorceresses, so they're pretty weak. Getting critical hits is very helpful early on. Of course, we did not get one. And our strength is a little bit lower than normal. I don't like these 39s. That might put us in a situation where we are having an enemy survive with like 1 or 2 hit points. Because some of the damage rolls are really close, depending on enemy stats also. Let's just hope that we gain a lot of strength and dex on all of our upcoming levels. I mean, we always hope for just gaining better stats. We can always hope that. Alright, then we wait. Magnus does leave the base here. I have to do it at a good time. I think now I leave the base. Make sure that he's close enough to me that he chases after me and doesn't take over the stronghold. And I don't want to go out too late where he attacks me. A Gray Skull, welcome on in. Thanks for the raid. Welcome in, raiders. How was the Big 20 practice? For those of you who don't know this game, because it's probably a lot of you, this is Ogre Battle 64. It is the sequel to the Super Nintendo's Ogre Battle March the Black Queen. And I'm currently running through this, attempting to improve upon the world record. Nice critical hit. 2-second time save. If you've got a moment, Flack or Keyboard, if you could shout out Gray, that would be great. But yeah, I do currently have the world record in this game, and I'm working on improving it currently. My goal is to save about 47 seconds by the end of the run. I have a potential 1.5-minute time save. But yeah, welcome on in Catman Meows, NY31, the Moogle Master, and everybody else that came in from Gray's raid. Hopefully you guys had fun with the Big 20. Golden Ogre, welcome in. Thanks for the luck. We're on a good pace right now. We're on a good pace. I still have, you know, another 2 hours plus of the run to go, but we are past all of the major reset points. Now there is a little RNG left. Okay, there's a lot of RNG still. for where exactly the units move on the map, but a lot of what's coming up will come down to player skill and me quickly sending units to very precise spots on the map to just barely avoid enemy units. There shouldn't be any large time swings in any split, unless a mistake is made. And hey, Villainous Fiend, welcome on in. If I get into an additional encounter, it can cost me about 20 seconds. As long as I don't get any additional fights, I shouldn't be losing large chunks of time. Gaining or losing a couple seconds is normal. Hey, no. Don't reset. Well, that's probably a waste of like 6 seconds. Because it just did not want to go down. Unfortunate. So in most of these missions, I have to send the Hawkman to a very specific spot on the map as quickly as I can. And then afterwards, I have to make Magnus try to avoid as many fights as possible also. Every encounter loses time, so I do the best I can to avoid them. So like this enemy right here that's walking towards Magnus would normally go to the base and we'd have to fight him. So to avoid fighting that enemy, we send Magnus on a little adventure. Magnus himself is very weak. I think he's level 5 right now. He starts the game at level 4. That's how weak our main character is. If our main character dies, the run is over. But he shouldn't die, because we have some very overpowered, glitched out characters with him. Because early on in this run, I duplicate a lot of characters, so that every time they gain a level, we are gaining 5 times the normal stats. Well, that was more than 6 second time loss. But yeah, this is an all stages speedrun. There's 3 main categories for this game. There is the any percent, which is just under 3 hours long. There's all stages / missions, which is where you do all of the additional missions that you don't have to do in the standard speedrun. And then there's glitchless. The glitchless run is a long speedrun. It is about twice as long as this. I'll be planning on working on that once I'm happy with my time in the other 2 categories. And hey Baron, welcome on in. Okay, this is not a most difficult setup. On some of these setups, if I'm not perfect, then we can lose lots of time. In this mission, I have to be careful when I send Magnus out of the base. I have to wait until the witch touches the top of the bridge. That's a little far over, but I hope it's okay. I don't want to cancel his movement. Hopefully I didn't send Magnus too far and he runs into the Ninja Master. I think it's fine. Yeah, we're fine. Plenty fine. A Red Cloud, welcome on in. We're off to a good start today. This run is looking real good. I started off by saving time in the early missions where I could save it, and now I'm just trying to carry that into the mid then late game. That's the goal. So to anyone who doesn't know this game, it is a war-based game, and you control an army. We're not playing the game as you're supposed to. You're supposed to, like, be controlling 10 units on a map and strategically having them run around the map and taking over the place. But we're not doing that. Nope. You're supposed to use all sorts of different character classes and like actually have a pretty cool, unique army. No, not for us. We just clone one of our starting characters and then another character we get later on. Then get some items that we're not supposed to have, so we zip around the map super fast and gain double XP. And we just easily steamroll over everything in the game with very little effort. Before these glitches were found out, the speedrun was very risky, and we could die at many parts in the run. But then about a year ago, some new glitches were found out from the Japanese speedrunning community. And they brought them over here, and now they've been put into the run. Alright, if I'm lucky, I can save time in this split. I do have about, what, 15 seconds of time save here? Well, that took me a little longer than I wanted to, but it's okay. The movement has to be very precise, and moving the cursor directly where you want it to can be difficult. So our goal here is for our Hawkman to outspeed the Black Knight that is running towards my base. It's a toss-up. I'd say about 50-50. This is a neutral encounter. You have a very, very low chance of fighting one of these anywhere during the game. Anyone you fight costs you about 15 seconds of time loss. So scratch saving any time here. That was not very good movement. The Black Knight is probably... Alright, at least the Black Knight didn't outspeed us. Ah, that sucks. Well, maybe we can get some critical hits. No crit. That's okay. But yeah, seeing a wild fairy isn't great. Hopefully we don't run into any more neutral encounters. Alright, I want to choose the top option here. It is the faster of the two options. The next time I have a character recruitment pop up, it's faster to say the bottom option instead of the top. So right now we're actually getting ready to be doing the mid-game. If you were playing casually, your characters would be class changing right now, and most of them would be in their most advanced classes. But we aren't actually doing that. We're not class changing anymore. Our sorceress is changed to a witch, which is a side grade, and they're staying that for the rest of the run. Our hawkmen are in their final form. Hey, Anti-Bing. Key, welcome on in. This is an easy mission. One where I am unable to avoid the encounter that chases after my base. If I make Magnus leave the base here, it'll just get taken over. So we don't bother sending Magnus anywhere. I will pick up an item that is on the ground. Bracer of Protection. We don't need it, but it's just kind of in the way. We strategically send our character to a perfect spot where he just barely avoids everything. When I was first routing this mission, I couldn't find a good spot to get around all the encounters. And I really wish we could avoid this guy. But sadly we cannot. Eventually our witches will be strong enough to one-shot everything, and it won't take 2 attacks. But they're sadly not there yet. And our hawkmen here will also eventually be strong enough to one-shot things. They're getting there. They're getting there. Good critical hit. That saves about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds. On average on a lot of these missions, we should be not saving or losing any time. Wow, I guess I got a critical hit in my PB also. But yeah, that's normal to not gain or lose time. If you gain or lose like 2 seconds, that's normal. That's the difference of needing 1 less attack to finish off an enemy. The next mission I'll be doing is a bonus one. In the any % run, I skipped that mission. But since this is all stages, we get to do them all. Because you have a choice between these 2 missions. And we take the one that is faster to do. But since we have to do all of them in this, After we do the faster one, then we go do the slower mission. It's just slower because the map is like twice as long. We're actually going to fight less encounters on this map. As long as I position my character perfectly, that is. I hope that'll work. I'll find out. I could have had the second marker a little bit too far west. So I always get scared here that the Dollmaster is not going to follow Magnus. But it has been working out, so... That's good. Do we walk... Okay, we walk the right way. We're fine. So yeah, no encounters here. Nice and easy. I mean, it's not easy, but it's doable. It's easy when you don't have to send Magnus out of the base. 2 hits should kill. Unless our first one was a critical, which it was not. Did I save time here? Huh. Okay. I apparently saved 2 seconds here. Sure. Maybe my PB took longer to line up my Hawkman / Magnus? That's a possibility. Okay, I do have time to lose here. I don't have time to gain, but I do have time to lose. It's possible to fight an extra encounter. I don't like that setup. I think Magnus is gonna fight an encounter. My Hawkman's gonna be fine. There are 2 fights I could get into if my movement's not perfect. One is you can fight the Cataphract here. And 2, ooh, yeah, I don't like that movement. I am pretty sure we're gonna have the extra fight. Yep. I was a little off on where I sent my Hawkman on the map. I was pretty sure that was gonna happen. Unfortunate, but it's bound to happen. That is why I was only hoping to save 47 seconds. Because it is very likely that something like that is going to happen throughout the run. It's quite difficult to send every character to the perfect spot as quickly as you can. No crits. So yeah, a fight generally loses us about 20 seconds on average, around there. We lost, 18. That's expected. I do have one more spot of time save coming up. There is a mission that I have 20 seconds of time save, where I fought one additional encounter that I can possibly avoid. I think I still have like 7 more missions until I get there. So as long as I don't bleed out much time, this could be the run that I was looking for. Not perfect, but most likely as perfect as it's gonna be. Alright, so now we are at Chapter 3. Chapter 3 is like... it's technically not endgame yet, it's still in the mid-game. Like chapters 2 to 3, I guess, is the mid-game. But you're pretty late into the game at Chapter 3. A lot of characters in Chapter 3 are like in their final forms. Your army is pretty well equipped at this point. A lot of your formations are in their final classes. You'll still get a lot more equipment for them, but you should be done class changing most units by now. There are still a few that you can't get yet, like some of the special classes. You can't get a Dragoon yet, or a Princess. But most other classes you have access to at this point in time. We don't get the best character in the game yet. She is in 2 missions? No. 3 missions. She's in 3 missions. I really wish my hands weren't so cold. This is another one where I have to time my character well. It's not that difficult though. It's not a super precise timing for this one. Alright, I have to wait until the Hawkman that's coming from the south reappears on the map. As soon as I see the dot pop up, I can do that. And I hope that wasn't too early. Because anytime I leave the base, I can theoretically get a game over. Okay, he's chasing me. That's good. We should kill the priest off in 2 swings. So a critical hit will save us like a second and a half, 2 seconds. If it's the first attack, it's a crit. If Dio and Leia were still in the party, they would be talking here. If you have Troy in your party, he's also talking here, but I'm pretty sure his dialogue is the same length as what the knight says, so it doesn't change anything. Not that we pick up Troy in this route. That's for glitchless. So the next time I go to this stage, I will have my time save. I technically have time save on this map. I technically do. If I want to play it super risky, I could try to not make Magnus leave his base. And if I'm quick enough getting up to the top of the map, I don't get an encounter. But if I'm not quick enough, then I lose 20 seconds. And I'm not going to risk it, so just leave the base, Magnus. I would rather waste the 5 seconds to send him out of the base to skip the encounter. On average, this saves me like 12 seconds. Now I can't get a gold split doing this. Yesterday, when my run was much worse than this, I risked it. And I did not save the time. Good thing I didn't, because we did not get there fast enough to avoid the encounter. Alright, we're about at the end of our critical hits being useful. They're really quickly going to phase out to us just one-shotting. So on these last few fights, it would be nice to get some crits while I still have a chance. This is the mission where we get the best character in the game. Well, okay. In a casual playthrough or in glitchless, we get the best character in the game here. But in any percent in all missions, we don't get her. Because we've glitched out our teams and we don't need her. And in case you're wondering what makes this character so powerful for casual play, if you do an area investigation in the first starting area, then you start this mission, you can get her to join you at level 3 as a siren. You can throw her into any party and she'll very quickly catch up in levels, and she will have absurd stats. Even if you don't do that, she's still really powerful. But if you start her off as an advanced class at level 3, oh boy, she gets some real good stats. And ends up being very powerful. She is also a unique siren and has a special buff to her magic defense. So she is way tankier than other mages, which is perfect for her sitting in the center slot because her magic resist is so high. And she also looks great. But she doesn't join us because technically Leia is dead. We kicked her off of our squad a long time ago, or battalion, I guess. We kicked her out, and so in the scene she's considered just being dead. So, Meridia does not join us. I used to struggle at this setup, but I think I have it down now. Electric shield. That is the first actual shield upgrade. I mean, you can start off with the small shield, then get a buckler like immediately, but then you don't get any other upgrades until this electric shield. You go most of the game with your small shields being useless. Then by the time you get here, you finally get one that's decent. Angel fruit. Then zip right around this guy. The pathing on some of these missions is so smooth. To just avoid all the encounters. We're running out of crit chances, guys. I used to also struggle on setting up this next mission here, but I feel much more confident about my setups now. Well, for the Hawkman anyways. For Magnus, it's difficult sending Magnus where I want him to be in this mission. Oh, wait. This isn't the mission I was thinking it was. This mission is real easy. Magnus doesn't have to go anywhere. Right, this mission's super easy to set up. It's a pretty uneventful mission, since we just fly around everything. If we had to use a grounded unit, and we couldn't just fly over the river, that would change this mission a lot. Because there's like legions in the way. But since we don't care about those rivers, we just fly past the enemy defenses. Flying units are very powerful in this. That makes sense that I lost that tiny bit of time. It took me 2 attempts to try to click on the road because the magnet pulled me back to the stronghold I was at. But still, losing a second and a half isn't a big deal. That is acceptable and expected time loss. I can lose time on this mission if I don't do this properly. It's possible that Magnus gets an encounter that he typically does not get. If my movement's not perfect. Okay, that should be fine. So it seems weird that I have to send the unit a little bit west, but if I don't, he'll run into the Dark Knight that's on that mountain. Just the pathing is kind of weird. And I have to try to barely skirt on by this Freya without hitting her. Easy. No criticals. We're losing our chances. We're not getting them. Oh, right. Hold down here. I need to hold down. It saves a good chunk of time. Because Biscay's got 3 additional dialogue boxes if I choose the top option. And he rests on his fist either way. So that little scene doesn't change, no matter which one I pick. So it's faster to choose the bottom option and have him join us, instead of picking the top option and yelling at him to live instead of letting us kill him. If you are slightly more lawful in your playthrough, then you do kill off the werewolf. But if you're more chaotic, like we are, then we can have him join us. So yeah, as long as I don't bleed out all this time, we have potential for this to be a good run. Still not perfect, but I can still be happy with it. Because there's so much RNG for how things could go poorly in a run. And I'm not going to be resetting for 4 golem starts non-stop. That's just rough. That requires a whole lot of luck. Since on average I only get 2 golems at the start, 3 is kind of rare. 4 is like ultra rare. If I'm off on that setup, it's possible that we fight the enchanter that is right in front of the town. Like, he's right at the stronghold. So we have to be careful that we are sending the flying unit far enough up the mountain to attack from the side and back to avoid the enchanter. It's a little annoying because we get to fight the boss on his side, meaning he has a unit defending him. Which means if we have poor targeting, it's possible that this fight takes longer than it should. Ideally, we can one-shot the Angel Knight. If we are strong enough to one-shot her, then I don't have to worry about poor targeting. We are not strong enough, not even close. Poor targeting. We got the worst possible targeting we could. So that is the slowest that fight could have gone. Awesome. No critical hits, and we targeted all of the wrong angels. We failed both. Yeah, we failed both of the 50-50s. And no crits. We probably have like a I don't know exactly our crit rate. If I took a wild guess, I would probably say it's around 10%. And we also didn't get a crit. If our Hawkmen are strong enough, we can just one-shot the Angel. But with how the routing works and that I avoid as many encounters as possible, we do tend to be lower level. I used to one-shot things way more often, but that's hard to do now that I avoid so many encounters. Especially with the witches. The witches are so weak now. It takes them a long time to one-shot enemies. This is the map I was thinking of, where I've got the Hawkman's pathing down a lot better, but Magnus's pathing is a little difficult to do here. Okay, this should be fine. My Hawkman wasn't perfect, but it should be acceptable. I would have preferred him being slightly further north. I barely avoided that guy. Barely. This is another one where targeting comes into play. We really want to crit the Ogre, or at least hit him twice in a row. We failed 3 50-50s, which cost us time. Again. I saved time technically, just because I was able to make Magnus select his movement faster than normally. I generally struggle to send Magnus on his way, so even though we had almost the worst possible luck, we failed 3 of 4 possible 50-50 rolls. That means we failed 5 of our 6 last 50-50 chances. I guess on that one it wasn't a 50-50. You have a 33% chance to target the Ogre at first. Then it becomes 50-50. I am not going to get my best time here. I refuse. Technically, I could make Magnus leave the base here. If I make Magnus leave the base here, it's possible that I save 10 seconds. But I guess about 85-90% of the time, the Hawkman attacks my base and takes it over. So I don't even bother with it most of the time. It's technically possible. I did it in yesterday's run as a last-ditch effort to salvage the run. So theoretically, we can save like about 10 seconds there. But it is not likely to work out. And failing to save that time instantly ends the run. So I don't want to do that when I'm on world record pace. If it was questionable for the pace, then I would risk it. But it's not worth it. It's like going for like the Jesus clip in Mario 3. If you're on a good pace, don't risk it. Because the odds aren't in your favor that you're gonna hit it. Alright. Not this stage, but the next one is where my biggest, the last bit of time save I have in the run is. You know, there's potential couple seconds here and there, but I don't really consider that as time save that I count on. Alright, another break. I don't have to mash for like 45 seconds. It is a big spot in the story. Yummel summons the Knights of Danica. They're supposed to be all powerful and imposing creatures, but nah. They're nothing compared to our duped super OP ravens. And Yummel summons demons to the world, you know, blah blah. We're not scared of no demons. I mean, Magnus is scared. He didn't have his witches with him, so good thing Hugo told him to run away, cuz I don't think a level 5... Is Magnus still level 5? No, I think he's level 6 now. I don't think a level 6 Magnus would stand much of a chance against those demons. Also, hey, no heal, welcome on in. I'm pretty sure Magnus is level 6 now. I think he's gained 3 levels since the start of the game. You know, that means he's been in 3 encounters. Yeah, the demons are weak, but not that weak. Not for a level 6 Magnus. Solo. But yeah, we're making good time. I'm happy with this run. If we can keep the time at a minute ahead, that will be perfect for what I was hoping for. It even gives us a little wiggle room that I can lose a few seconds here and there and still be under the time I'm hoping for. My goal is a 320 XX. So as long as we save 47 seconds, I'm happy. I don't have any real-time save in most of the splits. But the next one I think I have 20 seconds in the next split, so... Here's how weak the demon is. Hi-ya-cha! Our first one-shot. And yes, the demon is our first one-shot. They're not that tough. Ooh, I have 40 seconds of time save here. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Okay. I thought Magnus got attacked. Magnus did not get attacked in my PB here. My Hawkman was off. Uh-oh. I think they're doing some more roofing work again. I hear like a nail gun going. It's at least not above my head. It's kind of far from me, so... Maybe they fixed my roof? And they'll just work on, like, one of the other buildings still. Or maybe it's not even a roof, because maybe... It sounds like it could be lower. But yeah, this next mission is got the most precise and difficult setup of any of the missions for how to send my character. And if I fail to get it right, it's 40 seconds time loss, which is painful. Hey, Tiny Bobcat, welcome on in. Thanks for the luck. I ended up getting a new world record yesterday and the day before that, so let's see if we can make this a hat trick. And if I get this run with the time I want, I'm going to leave it alone. Because it'll be very difficult to make the time faster than that. I mean, I did do a lot of routing. I spent a lot of time routing this and practicing it out. So, over the past few days has just been me putting in the attempts, hoping I can get the RNG that I want and to perform all of the little tricks properly. I did get a world record with loud roofing going on over my head, yes. It definitely cost me some time here and there. There were multiple times I was distracted and, like, wasted 5 seconds here and there. Which is why I, like, randomly save, like, 4 seconds in a mission I shouldn't save time in. I do hear a nail gun going, but it's not roofing. At first I thought it could have been, but no. I don't know what somebody's doing over there. But it's not that loud, so it's fine. Alright. This is the most difficult mission to get right in the whole run. Many things could go wrong here. I could lose 40 seconds. I could get a game over. I don't trust that. I don't like that set. I don't think that's right. I'm gonna hope it's right. Did I wait too long? We'll find out. Please turn around, please turn around. Good, he turned around. Okay, I think I'm fine. I think. I'm not positive. I have to wait long enough that they all get close to me. Because if I don't wait long enough, that last one... the last one doesn't follow. Yes! Okay, I did it. I was worried. That is a very difficult setup. So what I do with the Hawkman is I try to avoid fighting 2 units. I have to kite them both, which is incredibly difficult to do. I have to be very precise on where I click on the map. Alright. Wow. That's a little bit more time saved than I expected. I thought I was only going to save 40 seconds. Not 46. But I'll take it. It probably took me longer to set it up last time. So yeah, that's all of the time save left for the run. Now I have to manage to not bleed it out over the next hour. Because there is no more time save. And in most missions, it's possible I lose 20 seconds or more if I get into an additional encounter than I'm supposed to. Some of them are very RNG based. In this one, this is one of them. If I'm unlucky, with my pathing, Magnus can fight an additional encounter, and it costs me 20 seconds. Nope, stop that, I'm wasting time. Come on, mother... Okay. Whew. Could not hit the right point. That's annoying. I'm supposed to click right on the edge of the plains and the mountain, but the magnet just kept pulling me. The whole idea of doing that is drawing... I need to draw the Freya far enough away that she doesn't attack me. Because if my Hawkman's not close enough, then she will immediately turn around and go after Magnus. Because she has a stronger pull for fighting Magnus than for fighting just some random unit. So, I'm going to lose time there. Because it took me so long to set up my units. But that's okay. It's going to happen. A lot of the movements are very precise. And that's what I mean by I just have to make sure I don't, you know, bleed out all of my time. I would have lost more time if I didn't send him there perfectly. If I got an additional encounter, I would lose upwards of 20 seconds, compared to only losing 7 seconds. So fast is not necessarily the best way to do it. Just click and go doesn't work. No construction percent. We fly over the walls. We don't even... So this is a siege mission. The game expects you to go to one of the gates with one of your melee characters. Beat down the gate guard, kill them, then use some dynamite to blow open the gates. We avoid that because we just use a flying unit. We kinda cheat a bit. And we avoid opening all the gates in all these missions. It saves, in this mission alone, flying over the walls probably saves 6 to 8 minutes would be my guess. Compared to playing the game like glitchless and running through the walls properly. And on some of the other siege missions where you have even more walls to go through, it can save like 10 minutes. Like, it's wild. They did not expect you to be flying over the walls. And it's actually difficult to make your units fly over the walls. If you just tell them to walk there, they'll still go straight through the gates. Yeah, I wouldn't call this ultimate power. We're the ultimate power, Prince, not you. Tiny bit of time lost there because I struggled to click on the correct spots, which is fine. I could do a cosplay, but will I? No. Remember, this is the no fun zone. I don't do nothing. This isn't even my final form. Oh, he killed me again. That's right. Just an old man. Hey, RZWD? RZWT. Blech. Yeah, the warehouses, or the cutscenes in the warehouses seem odd, but if you think about it, we are the rebel army, so it does make sense. I don't know, I just don't have the personality that likes to do things that are silly and fun and stuff. I only even have ideas to do things like that if I'm like drinking. If I'm drinking, then I'm more up for like doing stupid, silly things. But I don't really drink very often. Alright, this is a mission, another mission where we could get a game over if I don't do this properly. I think I've got the timing down pretty good. I did it properly the last two. I think the last two attempts I got this right. I think so, anyways. I need to wait until the Temple Knight hits a specific tile. I think I go now. And hope that I'm not too early. Okay, we're good. He's chasing me, not going to the stronghold. That guy needs to be very close to me, or he goes for the stronghold. Most units have a little bit more play, but... that guy will prioritize the stronghold. And the only other character he'll chase after is Magnus. He won't chase after anyone else. At least from my knowledge, he can't chase after anyone else. I know this is an all stages run, and we're skipping all of the secondary stages right now. But believe it or not, we have to do that. We can't do all the side missions yet. Because if we did all the side missions early, it would give us too much alignment. Sorry, it'd give us too much chaos frame. And we would be unable to get the final bonus mission. You can only get the final mission after you beat the technical boss of the game if your chaos frame is very low. And if you do all the bonus missions ahead of time, then you end up gaining alignment, and then you can't lose enough in the speedrun. So we have to do missions in a really weird order to make it work out properly. We pretty much get to do just straight force the story until we get to the point at the end game where we technically make our leave from the Revolutionary Army. We step away from their goals. Then once we do that, we go, we'll do all the side missions now. You know, we told you we were going to go do this, but instead we're just going to leave and do our own thing. And then the Revolutionary Army ends up hating us and tries to murder us at the end. So that's cool. That's how we get our bonus mission. Is the guys we've been working with the whole time end up being in our final encounter. It is the worst ending you can possibly get. But it's the only way that we get to see all the stages. The most missions possible in one playthrough. Alright, so you know how Magnus has been running around at super low level? It's time to level up Magnus now. He finally gets XP in this mission, not because I want him to gain XP, but because he has to gain XP here. Oh, is there... Oh, I think there is a different ending, yeah. I guess that would technically be the worst ending. I think if you die to, like, Destin as Magnus, then I think you get another ending, yeah. But if you just straight up die in the mission, then you get the regular game over screen. But yeah, if you make Magnus actually die to Destin somehow. That would be probably a more difficult one to make happen. I mean, I could theoretically make that happen. If I really wanted to, because I could just kick all the sorceresses off his team and make Magnus run over their solo. Then he could die to Destin. But I would have to use somebody else to sweep all of the units out of the way. And it would be a pain in the butt. It would be doable though. But honestly, if you die to Destin, I think that's a better ending than you actually beating the game. Because you're kind of like the villain by the end, so the fact that you die to Destin is probably a better ending, technically. So yeah, Magnus gets to level up here, just because our base gets a little surrounded. And no matter what you do, you cannot kite these guys away. So we get to gain a tiny bit of XP now. We definitely don't have to worry about dying. Because the witches, even though they're pretty low level right now, they're still powerful. We want to see as few item drops as possible. We did not get the Baronic. The best spear in the game did not drop for us. Every item that doesn't drop saves us like 2 seconds. We still aren't strong enough to one-shot. We're getting there. It might technically be possible for this Hawkman on the left to hit the Valkyrie, but I've never seen it happen. I've always seen him go for the Cataphract. So I don't think he can possibly target the Freya in the back row. I don't know why that is, but I've never seen it happen out of all of my runs. So I just don't think it's a possibility. We don't one-shot this one. And I think we one-shot every battle from now on. Our witches have finally gained enough XP that we should one-shot this guy. Might be close, but we got it. And this is why we're witches and not sorceresses still. If we were still sorceresses, we still wouldn't be one-shotting. Because witches gain better stats. But you typically don't want to use very many witches when you play casually, since they deal a whole 0 damage. Unless they're holding the stupidly overpowered spellbook. And I'm pretty sure we always smack this Swordmaster too. I don't believe I've ever seen him go for the Deanna in the back. I don't know why on these missions, but we always do the proper attacks. But on many other missions, it's very much random. Alright, time to storm the castle. Destroy their gates. March on in and murder a king. We're the good guys, right? I mean, we actually are still on the good guy's side currently. The princes and the king aren't really that great. I mean, they're working with demons and, you know, selling their souls and blah blah, whatever. All of that jazz. This is a real easy mission. Well, for the speedrun it is now. It's a huge map and kinda difficult in more casual plays. But for the speedrun, this is simple. Just have 3 little points that I hit, and the Hawkman fights nothing but the enemy. It's real easy too to set it up. I don't have to worry about messing it up because I send my unit directly to a town. Then, as long as I go left of the town, straight left, it doesn't matter if I go kind of far or only a little bit far off the town, as long as it's somewhere on the path, the Hawkman takes the exact same route, no matter what. Because pathing on these maps is really tight. Your units have a very small amount of area that they're actually allowed to path through. There's lots of buildings and stuff littered all over the maps that you cannot cross, even as a flying unit. There's a lot of terrain that blocks all character movement. You're the king? Well, I didn't vote for you. He's tough. Be prepared for an ogre battle. He has 2 ogres with him. But, yeah. We kinda just ignore them. Goodbye, father. See, we don't technically kill the king. We beat him up. Then he goes and runs and cries to his son. Then his son murders him. And we don't actually kill the prince. Again, we just beat him up. Somebody else does the killing blow. We just try to put him in his place. This fight is slightly more difficult, because Yummel has a bodyguard. Uh-oh. Anyways. Slightly more difficult, you see? His Knights of Danica. Ooh, they're powerful. So now we get a start on our side quest missions. We get to go running around doing everything we were supposed to do before coming here. But first, we have to leave the Revolutionary Army. We are on a path to Route Danica. Because that's what Yummel tells us to do. Because he's our bestest friend in the whole world. And we can't live without him. Stab! These enemies that teleport around and stab everybody in the back, well, this one was in the front, because it's Yummel. He can't dodge anything. It's not like Magnus's father, who could actually, you know, fight. Yummel's not much of a fighter. When you see him in the very first stage, he's about as powerful as a fairy. He hits enemies for like 4 damage. I mean, you can't stop me, Nox. Yummel's weak. Okay. I remember what to do here. What I'm doing is risky, and it could lead to a game over. And I'm probably going to lose time here. Okay, let's see if I can remember how to do this properly. I think I wait until here. So yeah, if I'm unlucky, I believe I could get a game over here. Because there's going to be an archmage that's going to be racing towards my base. No, I don't see the other unit. He hasn't spawned yet. So we're going to fight both of them. If you see the demon on the map before you fight this guy, a lot of times you can avoid the demon. But if the demon doesn't spawn until after you win, then you get to take the encounter. So we lose time here compared to PB. But as long as we don't get a game over, we're still looking good. This is complete RNG. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Not even close to getting a game over. There was only enemy units on 3 of the 4 sides of our base. It was fine. So yeah, I will lose a little time here. And it is expected, because most of the time you have to fight 2 enemies on the way up there. Occasionally you can only fight 1. But it's kind of rare. And you might be wondering, why don't I make the flying unit avoid those encounters? Oh, apparently maybe it was my old PB that avoided the encounter. Okay, so I didn't lose any time. That's nice. But yeah, you might be wondering, why didn't I avoid those two encounters by just sending my unit a little further south? I could do that, and I tried doing that in routing. But the problem is, if you do that, you lose your base to the Archmage. So if you want to avoid losing to the Archmage, you have to leave Magnus in the base, and then your Magnus unit fights 4 or 5 units. And that is a huge time loss compared to just taking out 2 with your Hawkman. Alright, now this mission looks like we're committing suicide here, because, like, we're leaving our base wide open, and there's an enemy walking directly to the base, and we're standing on the opposite side. But, through all of my practice, I've never once had that Archmage walk into my town. He has always walked around it. I haven't seen it happen yet. I'm not going to say it's not possible, but I've never once seen it happen. Alright, this is a mission where targeting matters. Can we hit the Ogre? Nope. Good. Okay, we failed one of the die rolls. That's fine. We lose a little time, but it's fine. That is an acceptable amount of time loss. Not just rip Leia's father. Oh, I never did try to reroute this map. I was planning on doing that yesterday, but I got sidetracked by having to delete 500 hours of Twitch videos. Okay. So I was thinking it might be possible if I send Magnus out of the base to make one of the enemies... Wait. But yeah, I was thinking that it might be possible that I could send Magnus out to distract this first guy instead of fighting him. Then maybe use my witch to distract the other two. I don't know if it would work. I don't know if they are programmed to only chase after Magnus or chase after any unit. I don't know. I haven't tested it. So it's possible that the strategy just doesn't work anyways, because they only chase after Magnus. But, you know, if I don't try it, I don't actually know. But I do know that this works if I send my units on a specific path. It works. If I send Magnus out of the base too early, the last guy takes over my base. And if I'm too late, I end up fighting the second guy. Alright, we've got one final bonus mission in this stretch. Then we're back on to the main story missions. I can possibly lose time here. I can. If I'm unlucky. Magnus can fight anywhere from 1 to 3 encounters here, I think. I believe it's 1 to... No, it's 2 to 4. 2 to 4. Yeah, 2 to 4 encounters here. Depending on how perfect my pathing is, and exactly when I send my unit out. I'm always going to fight this first guy. I can technically avoid him. He will chase after Magnus, but the problem is the Legion that's rushing my base will not chase after Magnus. They will go after my stronghold. So if Magnus isn't in the base, they'll just take over my base. I always fight the first unit. And there's 2 more I can fight if I'm too slow on my pathing. So hopefully that's it. I have a tiny window here. Boo. Well, that's time loss. Come on, Hawkman. Come on. Thank you. Took a little longer than I would have liked, but it's okay. This is it. Oh, we fought him on the side. No wonder why we lost. Why it took us longer to get there. My pathing wasn't very good at all. We're not supposed to fight him on the side. Yeah, our units are pretty powerful. That's for sure. This speedrun used to be way sketchier. Every mission you were worried about your Hawkman dying. Because your Hawkman didn't used to have increased stats, and you used to only have 1 Hawkman. You would have 1 Hawkman with a super powerful Griffin. And for every single mission, you would have to specifically swap your characters to make sure that your Griffin was tanking hits instead of your Raven. Because if your Raven got hit a couple times, he just died. So you had to be very careful with maneuvering the map and hitting enemies on specific sides and making sure that you use your stamina recovery items at the right time. Oh, glitchless is gonna be nothing like this. Not even close. Once we hit 30 seconds into this run, it's no longer like glitchless. Or, yeah, glitchless is not like this. And nothing else from then on is even similar. The glitchless run does not recruit Hawkman because it's not a worthwhile use of your time. So we use 2 land units. Come on. That was a little slow. I do have a potential of 40 seconds of time loss I could lose here. I'm a little worried that I might not have sent my character far enough north. We'll find out. We're not far enough north. I think I lose 40 seconds now. I could attempt to fix it, but it's not really at a state where I could fix it in a reasonable amount of time. Well, let's hope for the best. Maybe the enemy will just take poor pathing choices, and I'll be fine. Oh, I don't think so. We're not even close. Not even close. This is, in my opinion, the second hardest mission to position my unit properly. Just run straight there now. Don't even... If you avoid the enchanter, you don't have to fight this encounter at all. It doesn't even spawn out of the base. So, we lose like 40 seconds. It might not actually be 40 seconds. Maybe it's slightly less. Okay, that critical was definitely not necessary. Well, it's pretty darn close to 40 seconds. "38 seconds time loss. Because I was a few pixels off where I needed to spend my unit. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Can't even be mad about it. That is part of the expected time loss. Yes, part of me was hoping I wasn't going to have any, thing like that happen, but it's in the realm of possibility. Over 2 missions. I bled out a minute. That hurts. Especially because some of these minutes are like less than 3 minutes long. I think I can save 2 seconds here if I avoid the Urn of Chaos, and I do it quickly. That is not avoiding the Urn of Chaos, but that's okay. So I don't save the time. I avoided the urn? Huh. Okay. I guess I'll take it. I was positive that I was too close to the river. but I'll take it. We need to save every second we can, wherever we can save it. Alright, 3 missions left. As long as I don't get into an extra encounter in any of these missions, then we're golden. It is possible on all 3 of these stages I could get into additional encounters. It's also possible I could get a game over on all 3 stages. So, nothing's guaranteed yet. This mission is kinda tricky. Okay, when do I send out... Over the town, right. Once my Hawkman is over the town, I send out the witch. Please don't hit Magnus, that is so close. Nope, not... wrong unit. Alright, Magnus is safe. He's not gonna get attacked. My witch is safe. Is my stronghold safe? That's the question. I think it's a... Yes, we're good. No game over. Alright, 1 mission done properly. And there's 2 final missions. It takes 2 attacks to take out Richard. Am I saving time here? Oh, right. Because last time I sent out the witch too early. And I had to wait around in town for a second. And it cost me a little bit of extra time. Right, okay. I don't have time to save on either of these 2 missions, I don't believe. Unless I have quicker commands, I guess, to the units. That could theoretically save a little time. But I think it's unlikely. This next mission... I have to wait before sending out Magnus. This is supposed to be the final mission in the game. But we get the bonus mission. So what time is it? Okay. Lots of storyline in this mission. You know, it's like it's the final mission in the game or something, so they're trying to finish up the story, I don't know. Stabby stab. Everyone being in love with Yamo. Alright. Done with the story for a moment. Until after we beat up Baldwin. And the final mission's actually pretty short. The bonus mission, that is. Alright, hopefully that's the correct spot to avoid all the encounters. As long as I pick up the dragon shield, I'll feel comfortable with it. Alright, Magnus moved up to here. And we need to make sure that the Dragon Master chases Magnus. Magnus does have to fight... Oh wait, not a Dragon Master, it's a demon, right. We fight one encounter, and because that guy rushes the base. I could not find a way around him. But we keep this guy chasing after Magnus. There's our Dragon Shield. Just as planned. Then we should barely skirt around this guy. And we fight without getting an extra encounter on Magnus. Perfect. Alright, so that's this mission taken care of. No mistakes on this one. The last mission is pretty difficult. I have to send my Hawkman in a very specific spot. If I'm off, I can get up to 2 extra encounters, which can cost me upwards of 40 seconds, so... let's hopefully not lose all that time in the final mission. That would be real sad. Now, it would be really cool if somebody could find a sequence break. Somehow involving all these weird glitches. If you can make it so the first time you see Mount Kirith, you can somehow spawn this encounter instead of the other one. That would be a really cool sequence break. It's probably not possible, but you know, this game isn't super popular, so it's not like there's a bunch of glitch hunters running around and poking through everything they can find. Alright, almost done with mashing the A button. I mean, I don't have to do it right now, but almost done for the run. Any time the large white words are on the screen without a background, you can't mash through it. It's a cutscene and cannot be skipped in any way. Alright, Danica. We're ready. If we crit, we one-shot her and save like 1.5, 2 seconds. Can we do it? Hiya-cha? No. Now, as long as I don't make a mistake here, this could be an acceptable finish to the run. But there are 2 additional encounters I could theoretically get, and it's also possible I get a game over. Unlikely for the game over, but technically possible. Because I do send Magnus out of the base, and I don't leave anybody in my base, with multiple units chasing after my base, so it's theoretically possible. I haven't had it happen in any of my testing, but We're not going to say that it can't happen, because this is Ogre Battle. Sometimes units move in weird directions, and you just can't explain it. Alright. Off to see the wizard. Name Saradin. Come on, come on. Spoiler, we will be murdering Saradin. The actual protagonists of the game. Yep. Here we are to murder them all. Because they're stopping us from being all evil. I think that's right. If I'm gonna lose at least a couple seconds here, because I don't know why I took it off of Stronghold and set it to unit. It shouldn't cost me much time, but I think it'll cost me a little. Now, I wasn't sure how to avoid the Beastmaster, so I had to fight him. But the Angel Knight, I should be able to avoid. Uh-oh. That's not right. I don't think I'm supposed to get that. Don't you dare fight me, Siren. Don't you do it! Whew, that was close. Okay. I think we're okay. As long as the Angel Knight doesn't hit Magnus. That was close. I thought the Siren was going to get us. Alright. Last encounter is with Destin. Yeah, this is the special bonus mission, Blank. One you only get if you're truly evil. Alright. I hit my goal time. Is there technically still time possible? Sure. But I don't want to grind out attempt after attempt to try to milk out another 40-ish seconds. Like, this is going to be it. Thanks for the GGs, guys. Alkaline, Skeeter, Nox, Irvo, Genesis, Lackeys. I got the time I wanted. It wasn't a perfect run, but it was pretty good. I'm happy with the run overall. If I tried to run this back, there's three additional enemies over the course of the entire run. No, 4 additional enemies I could theoretically avoid if everything goes perfect. It would take many resets for all that to happen in one run. I would have to avoid the archer in Melissa 1. Then I would have to avoid the additional enemy in Tribel, both of the enemies in Aura Plains, and that would be it. So 3 of those enemies are at the very end of the game. And then there's one pretty early on. And if anything didn't go perfect on the way, I'd have to reset. So I think this is where the record is going to stay. Thanks for the GG's Flacken time, and I think I'm going to go pee while I wait for the credits to roll. Jack D-Pad, thanks for the GG's as well. That was it was a good run. It was a good run. And that's why I don't normally like to drink water while doing a speedrun, because man, I really needed to pee. But I don't know, I've just been drinking water. I mean, I didn't drink that much. That's correct. This is a minute off yesterday's world record, and this is where I'm going to be leaving it. I could technically still try to force more time, but it's at the point now that I would need incredibly good RNG as well as not making a mistake over the entire run. And it's getting to a point where that'll be way too much. I'm happy with leaving it here. And next week I'll go back to any percent runs and try to work on those since I have some new strategies to try out in any percent. Then once I'm done with any percent, we'll move on to glitchless. Glitchless is going to take a ton of routing, lots of trial and error, probably many deaths. But yeah, that's going to be it for me for the day. I will be back tomorrow with some FF1. You know, try and work on improving that world record as well. Our chaos frame is 0.